Hello, my name is HAPruitt and I'm the author of the Anelthalien series. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the Anelthalien series, specifically what audience the Anelthalien series is written for. I want to do this video because I think it's for one audience, but other people have said that it fits another audience better. And so I want to say that I'm super glad that other people care enough about my series, like my series enough to tell other people what audience it reaches, and we may find out it reaches multiple audiences. I don't know, but I want to do this video to make sure that people aren't fooled when they go into the Anelthalien series. So, to do that, first I looked up on masterclass.com the definitions of middle grade and the definitions of YA, or young adult, which are the audiences that people say my book reaches. That isn't. And so I'm gonna, Eldon's over there and he's loud and it's gonna be okay. Just like ignore the screaming. He's fine. He's in his activity center. So first, I just want to tell what the difference is between a middle grade audience and middle grade books, and what young adult books, what they actually are. Okay, so here goes. What's the difference? The genre isn't the difference. Middle grade books and young adult books both have fantasy, both have historical fiction, both have whatever genre you can, well, maybe not whatever genre you can think of, but they both have a variety of genres. That's not the difference. The difference is the content. What's middle grade and what's young adult, the content is the difference. So in middle grade, there is no profanity, no graphic violence, no sexual content beyond kissing. In YA, a lot of people argue about what should be in young adult books. But if there's any of that profanity, graphic violence, sexual content, it's minimal, but some can be there. Some is permitted, according to this definition. I don't like any of that to the extreme in my YA books. I don't like profanity at all. Graphic violence, we could kill some people with swords. And the sexual content, I don't want it to go anywhere beyond kissing. Yeah. But that's just a preference. But YA can include that. So, young adult books are usually longer than middle grade books. Older kids like longer books than younger kids. The length of a young adult book is usually 50,000 words to 75,000, while the length of a middle grade book is usually 30,000 to 50,000 words. But the website said fantasy's usually longer, so it's kind of hard with fantasy because kids are willing to read really long fantasy books, like Harry Potter was an example they gave. They said Harry Potter was middle grade, even though it's super long, but that's what they said. Yeah. Okay, so the length is the difference. Also, this was a big difference. It said middle grade was usually written in third person, and it deals with relationships with family and friends, while young adult books are usually written in first person, and they deal with the world beyond family and friends. And also, it said that young adult books are usually more self-reflective. Middle grade typically focuses on, just what's going on, more the action than the reflection on the action, and young adult is kind of introspective, and I'm thinking about how I'm interacting with my world, and how does this change me, and how does this affect me. And also, in young adult, the protagonist is usually 15 to 18 years old. They are a young adult. And in middle grade, they are a middle grade person. They are 10 to 13 years old. Yeah, and so those are the major differences. Also, I think I said this already, but another note I had is young adults books typically focus on a character's introduction and integration into a new world. So, those are the definitions, not ones I made up. I found them on the internet, like I said, masterclass.com. And now I want to say if Anelthalien fits middle grade or if it fits young adult. If not genre, the audience. I know, Eldon, it's hard to be still, and you're not really still. You're moving around. Okay. Anyway, okay, so this is Waterfalling I have with me, and Waterfalling and the books after kind of make the difference. Whenever I talk about what audience Anelthalien best fits, I think about the series as a whole because I know what's going on. And when other people talk about what audience Anelthalien best fits, they usually are just thinking of the first book. And like, you can't know all the books, and so I don't blame you for that. But the series definitely develops. And so I'm going to talk about it, and I will tell you if I'm going to have a spoiler, and I will tell you to stop listening. But hopefully I'm not going to get into many spoilers. So, with the profanity and the graphic violence and the sexual content, Anelthalien's middle grade. There's no profanity. The worst thing I think Tad says is he calls people a moron. And I know some people really don't like that word, but other than that, he says shut up and stupid and idiot. And you know, like, it's not, in the realm of words, it's not that bad. I don't want my baby hearing those words. Sorry, Eldon. But, you know, I think middle grade kids can handle shut up. Graphic violence. In the later books, there's a little, like, probably other people would say that's not graphic at all, but, like, people get stabbed and there's blood. And, you know, like, it's not, like, over-described, but, like, people get stabbed and there's blood in the later books. And sexual content beyond kissing. Anelthalien is not a romance, and I don't think there's any romantic things. I will say something about one thing in the third book a little bit later, but as far as romance, there's really not romance. Like, Isildur and Nahum are married, and they don't do anything, but that's like the only romantic relationship I can think of right now in Anelthalien. It's just not focused on the romance. So, with the content like that, Anelthalien is definitely a middle grade level. So, the length. Anelthalien would fit better into the length of a young adult series. The age range of the protagonists, Kendall, Andrew would be a middle grade, but Kendall, Ella, and Tad would be a young adult. So it more fits the young adult. And so then the things that are a little bit longer, what the book deals with, the introspection, the introduction to a new world, more reflective, all of those fit with young adult. Anelthalien is definitely more reflective. Kendall thinks about what she interacts with. She thinks about how this is affecting her, and all these events and what they mean and how they affect her. And it's this integration into a new fantasy world, but for the reader, it's an integration into God, like your relationship with God and what that means for living. And so definitely that aspect of the book fits young adult better. And that grows and grows and grows, and that develops throughout the series. Like in the third book is where it really hits and where it really starts, and things get more introspective and more spiritual and just deeper. And it just gets deeper and deeper. And I love it so much. Yeah. And so all of those descriptions that I found online, Anelthalien does fit as a series. Anelthalien does fit young adult better. It says middle grade is third person and young adult is first person on my little chart here, but I've read books in both that are all kinds, and so I don't think that's a very good thing to say one is one and one's the other, but Anelthalien is written in third person, but it's from Kendall's perspective. But I don't think that makes it middle grade if it's third, I don't think it makes it third, you know what I mean, hopefully. I don't think the perspective makes it one way or another. Okay, so also I wanted to say that the first two books could probably work as middle grade, but the third book, a reader who has read the third book, her name is Alexandria Miracola. Thank you. And she said in the third book, a character receives some unwanted physical attention, but the scene is brief and not descriptive. It's not meant to be romantic. It is meant to, the scene where the character receives some brief unwanted physical attention is meant to show the depravity of the world and how bad things are. It's there for a purpose. It's not there to be dramatic. And it, like Alexandra said, it is brief and not very well described, but the ramifications of that and how Kendall reflects on that are there. And also in books 3 through 7, they deal with issues. Okay, here's the spoiler. Be careful. They deal with issues that might be beyond a middle grade reader's interest. like questions about God. This is the spoiler: suicide, and drugs, and things like that. Things that are real problems in our world that teenagers deal with, more than middle grade kids deal with. You know, in our world, you know, they may deal with it. I don't know. But I think a couple things in the later books may fit young adults a lot better than middle grade. So, because Eldon just can't stand to be in his activity center any longer, I'm going to wrap up this video. The Anelthalien series, the first 2 books could work for middle grade, but I don't want middle grade readers to get into it and then their parents get upset because the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7 go a little bit beyond what they want their kids reading. So if you are a middle grade reader, ask your parents if it's okay. If you have kids who are middle grade readers, maybe you want to read it first and see if it is okay for your kids. Because I think it could go either way, just depending on what you want your kids to be exposed to. But I think it fits better young adult readers, the whole series. I said those couple things that are in there, the deep questions about God, the spoiler, suicide, drugs, and just real deep, hard concepts. So that is all for today. Please like this video, please subscribe, please share this video with others. Please tell me if you've read the Anelthalien series, if you think it's a middle grade book, or if you think it's a young adult book, and why. And just thank you for watching. Bye. If you want to know more about Anelthalien or HAPruitt, please follow me on Instagram at HAPruitt. You can find me on Amazon as an Amazon author, HAPruitt. Please watch my YouTube channel and all my cool videos on my channel, HAPruitt Anelthalien. You can find me on the Facebook page, HAPruitt Anelthalien. You can follow me on Goodreads by the name HAPruitt and the book Anelthalien, or you can go to my website where so much cool stuff about Anelthalien is. The website is HAPruitt.com. Don't touch that tripod. We're gonna make sure it's all okay. Here's a little baby. Day to day to day day to day. Boom! I'm great!